You're listening to Game and Chat, where we level up with conversations about gaming then and now. I'm your host, Daniel, aka One to Switcheroo. So let's press start and game on. Welcome everyone to the season finale of Game and Chat, streamed directly to your favorite podcast platform. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, or all of the above to support the cause. And with that being said, welcome everyone. We made it. This is the final episode of season 1 of Game and Chat. It is holidays. We just went through Christmas, so happy holidays everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. I just hope that you did it with your loved ones and you had an amazing time. I sure did have an amazing time. Shout out to my husband for making this Christmas very special for us, me and the baby puppy. So we are nice. We spend it very, very cozy here at home. Presents, special presents, and nothing but love and appreciation for each other and everything. And I hope you guys did the same as well. This is the season the more than ever we need to stay together no matter any challenges that come in the future for us. So again, welcome everybody and thank you so much. Today we're gonna chill a little bit. We're just gonna talk about it. It's a little bit of a script, but unscripted. But so we're just gonna be here reminiscent of what this amazing journey has been in 2024, but not only in 2024 in general for gaming, but for me also for finally being able to share my thoughts and love for gaming through this amazing platform. So I cannot start this without saying thank you. We are 16 episodes in, counting episode 0 of course, and I feel like this is where everything like comes together. And this is gonna be the beginning of a little tradition, which, you know, at the end of the year, we're gonna go over one of our highlights in gaming, at least in my personal opinion. And we're gonna discuss what is One to Switcheroo, what is Game and Chat's game of the year. I'm sure you guys might have ideas that who that might be. And for those who are listening, or for those who are tuned out to the streams, I don't know what my gaming tastes go to. So I'm sure you guys can make your guess, but we're going to talk about it briefly. So it's going to be maybe a little bit in the short end because we want to make this nice, short and sweet in order for us to send off this amazing season 1 of Game and Chat and opening the window to the future, which very soon will be the beginning of season 2. That being said, of course, like I said, thank you so much everybody who has listened throughout this year. Thank you so much for the people that listened to last week's episode with Generation 2, the golden era of Pokemon. Pokemon Go has always been my favorite games in Pokemon, my favorite generation overall because how many good things brought out to the table, and definitely look forward to see when Pokemon takes a little bit of that magic from that generation back into the modern games. That being said, of course, we always start our episodes saying what are we playing. So in my case, I've been continuing my quest in Mario and Luigi Brothership. That's one of those games that I can barely take on short bites. I think I'm falling off on the fact that it's taking a little bit longer on the tutorial section, a little too long for my liking. So it's kind of hard to get back into the base. I know once I get to a certain area, it will kick off, and then I probably want to be playing it a little more often. But hey, little by little, you know how it is. I also tried Indiana Jones on the Xbox, and what a great game. I mean, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, it's amazing like how well it looks and like how they really recreated the cutscenes one-to-one with the movie. And, you know, it plays really well and it's very interesting. I want to definitely see it to completion. So, again, so many games to play. And worth mentioning, I actually decided and caved in and downloaded Balatro on my phone. I played the tutorial, I played a couple levels, and by the time it was already 2 hours in, so I guess I liked the game. And I don't know, I feel like I can't stop thinking about it, or I want to itching to play. now because I kind of understand what they were going for. And I don't know. I'm not sure if I get it yet, but I guess I get it because I'm only itching to play the game now, especially being on my phone is more accessible because I carry my phone all the time, of course. But yeah, Balatro, who would have thought? And yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing so far. I've been still playing Street Fighter and, you know, having fun with the game. And recently, actually, me and my husband just came back up to Crash 4 just because we wanted another game to play. And we actually didn't get to beat Crash 4 to completion, even after all these years. So we went back, we played a little bit on the Switch, and then we back to our PlayStation file, which we were a little bit far advanced. And in a couple of hours, in the last couple of days, we actually made it to the final level. We're about to face what we seem to be the final boss. So, and that last couple of levels were just crazy, and it really reminded me how I really love this franchise so much. I might dedicate an episode next season about Crash because it's really cool, and it's one of those characters that also grew up with me in my childhood. I mean, despite not owning a PlayStation, but my cousin did. All it did is I played Tekken and Crash, so I would definitely touch on that in the future. But without further ado, people, it's time to celebrate 2024. If we talk about games on Nintendo 24 in general, just to begin, it has been a little bit on the light side, but at the same time, we got really nice gems that we weren't expecting, especially from Nintendo. Like, yeah, overall, it was a very lax year for Nintendo in general. It wasn't like a 2023 or a 2017 with those like bangers after bangers after bangers. But it definitely did them good enough to hold on to the Switch for one more year. So kudos for them. I guess the marketing strategy really is effective, especially with the Switch effect. But other platforms, of course, we saw the release of Indiana Jones recently. We got Metaphor Ray Fantasio, which made a huge splash also towards the end of the year, to the point that it beat Final Fantasy VII Rebirth as Best RPG of the Year. And not only the Game Awards, but I think the Golden Joystick Awards also. That's what happened. I might be wrong though, so feel free to correct if you want. And you know, so many games that, especially on the indie side, we got the Block Squire, which is a very fun concept. Animal Well also was very well received. And you know, just from the top of my head, I mean, I'm gonna have some honorable mentions before I get to my top 5, but definitely it wasn't a game for a year that slack off that much. Yes, could have been better, but it definitely was worth, and you know, it really made us satisfied, I would say. We were content with this year in general when it comes down to gaming. And you know, some years that you have to just slow down because we just have to, you know, we can't just be obsessing over and over again. We need the space. We need that space to breathe. So bear with us, people. The best year of gaming is yet to come, and I believe 2025 is going to be something that it's going to be memorable, not only for that year in general, but just in gaming history. So buckle up because it's going to get really good in the near future. But in the meantime, today, we're celebrating 2024 Best Games of the Year on the Daniel AK1 to Switcheroo perspective. So welcome everyone to the final episode of Season 1 of Game and Chat. The Game and Chat Top 5 Games of the Year. And of course, we're going to start off with just bringing some honorable mentions because these are games that keep going back and forward when I was trying to decide for this list. But in the end of the day, I believe that whether it didn't make the top 5 at the moment, there were really games that really stuck in my head, and I would definitely, it's worth mentioning because I'm sure some of these games for you guys are going to be your games of the year. So I want to make sure that we make a brief statement that just because they are my top 5 doesn't mean they're yours, and just because yours are not my top 5 doesn't make them less important. So this is about sharing opinions and having fun with it, exchanging conversations, and you know, make us better gamers and better at this beautiful art that embraces us every single year, every single month, with these amazing companies that really promote a way of escapism from reality to something that brings us joy and brings us very satisfaction to play at home, especially after a very long day of work, it's always good to unwind, grab your controller of your favorite console, and play your favorite game. That being said, honorable mentions. I'm going to start off with the easiest one, Balatro. I know, I just played for 2 hours, but there's something about this game that catches my attention right now, and I want to keep playing it, and I want to see how good I'm at. I mean, I always like poker and like regular cards, so the fact that they include some like quote-unquote roguelite and like status effects on the whole hands of poker and made it into Balatro, really interesting. So I'll keep playing. My opinion might change, but right now it's something that is drawing my attention, so I think it's worth mentioning. Also, honorable mention to Street Fighter 6. I know it's not 2024, it was from last year, the year before. However, the fact that we were sleeping in this game, this was a gift from my husband here on Christmas, and we've been playing it for the past couple of weeks, and it's actually really fun. It actually looks really good on the screen too. It's not Mortal Kombat. We're more Mortal Kombat people, but given the fact that Mortal Kombat 1 is not doing very well and it's not really sticking out for us, it's really good to have a backup plan with Street Fighter, and we're really having fun with it. So we want to wait to unlock everything and be able to see what the games offer. Of course, Mario and Luigi Brothership is another one that really deserves the attention. The animations are so crisp, the game is so alive, and the little time I have with that, well, not little time, I have over 5 hours with it right now, but it's been really fun. And as again, I'm just waiting for that moment to really kick in and just like fully dive into the game. I'm still waiting for that moment. I know it's coming up close, so we're looking forward to that. Of course, also Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, great game, made in collaboration with Bethesda. I think they really nailed the Indiana Jones environment, especially being a one-to-one aspect with the movie, especially in the cutscenes. It's always good, so we can just circle back and reflect on how you remember this from the movie versus how you like interpret it in the game. Really good game. And of course, other honorable mentions, we have Resident Evil 4, another one from the year before, but started playing it this year and it's been great. I love Resident Evil 4. It's one of my favorites from back in the day. So the fact that they really pull off this remake and how good it looks, and it's almost as good as the original game but in a different way. So I feel like both games really can stand out without being compared with each other. I feel like that's the case with Resident Evil, and so far it's been a great experience. Hopefully I'll pick it up. Maybe I'll pick it up in January, February while things slow down for a little bit. And of course, last but not least, I want to say Super Mario Party Jamboree, because we really needed this Mario Party game for so long after so many years of failed attempts with 9, 10, and Super Mario Party. Well, Super Mario Party was the first step in the right direction, and then Mario Party Superstars took that and returned it to actual form, Mario Party how it should be. And seeing the reception of that and now creating, basically merging both games together into Super Mario Party Jamboree, it really stands out that this is the path that Mario Party should continue. Ruining friendships, no cars of friendships, don't force anybody to be friends, just have them wreck families and homes. So look forward to actually play this more often on stream for you guys if you guys want to join on twitch.tv. Well, I think it's time to start with number 5 on our list. We're gonna of course count down, and in number 5, our 5th runner-up for this year's Game of the Year at Game and Chat is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And it's very funny that I say this because I love Final Fantasy VII. I love Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I was waiting for so long for Rebirth to come out. And it came out, and listen, amazing, like blown away. Just basically grab Remake and make it bigger and better and more accessible. You have things now that you have the synergy combos with the two characters, and just the cutscenes and the story and the music. Oh my god, the music. It's something really amazing. Number 5, because unfortunately I haven't been able to finish it. I'm like halfway through the game, but things came out and I start keep playing and my backlog keeps getting longer and longer. And to the point that I really need to. I was even trying to get it done even before I would record this, but there's so much to do. There's so much to play, but I would definitely have it finished before the sequel comes out. I mean, I'm definitely going to pick it up next month probably, because that game is something that I've been waiting for. I mean, the whole story alone, like, we know what's going to happen. I'm very afraid to get to that section. I've been really avoiding spoilers on how it happens, but I just can't wait. But just submerging into that world and like how they really, especially into the character. I feel like the character development in these games have been superb, especially when the introduction of Yuffie when she comes into the party. That whole sequence was very funny. And you know how the friendship between Tifa and Aerith like grows and they basically become best friends, and how Cloud dwells with the, you know, the whole relationship situation. And I know you can probably select who you like kind of like want to go I don't know how to explain this. Like choose, I guess, Aerith or Tifa, like the date and whatever. I think I'm around that path right now. So I'll see what happens. But like even Barrett's like story arc with his best friend and all that. And it's just fun. And the whole world of Final Fantasy VII, how they really nailed the atmosphere and the tension and the urgency that, hey, Sephiroth is coming and is gonna destroy everything, so we need to do something about it. And I don't know, it's just fun, and the combat system is fun. I know people go back and forward with the dynamic battle system, dynamic turn-based battle, where you can attack normally and then you can just like sort of freeze time a little bit and select command items. But actually, that's one of my favorite parts of Final Fantasy VII Remake in the first place. So the fact that they expanded upon that, and they actually on top of that, to add to the skill level, they added some sort of like quote-unquote sphere grid like Final Fantasy X, made me really happy. I really love that leveling system and like how you can power up your characters with that. So kudos again. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has been an amazing journey so far. I'm not finished it. Maybe if I finish it, it's gonna climb way higher on the top 5 list. But for now, this game is my 5th game of the year, which makes us move to position number 4th. Fourth, my birthday. One of my favorite numbers, of course, for that reason. This game in particular also really made a huge splash, and not only because it was like a brand new game, it's more so the add-on. And I know you guys think where I'm going with this. We made an episode of that recently, so you know, go listen to that if you don't want to get spoiled. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, my top 4th, the 4th runner-up of Game of the Year 2024 for Game and Chat is Sonic Crush Shadow Generations. The dynamic duo returns, and what a great way to do it with inviting our special guest, Shadow. And wow, I mean, yes, Sonic Generations, we got a remaster of it. The game alone, the original game just looks and plays really well up until this day. Well, quote unquote, plays really well. Sonic Generations, I haven't finished yet. I definitely go farther for the first time I played, but there's something about the Sonic games that, and just Sonic in general, we talked about this on the Sonic Through the Ages podcast with Sans Reservas, and it's that one thing that frustrates me about Sega is that I feel like they lose grip on how they control their own character, and Sonic Crush Shadow Generation suffers a lot of that on the Sonic aspect of it. However, this is top 4 because of, you guessed it, Shadow Generations. And this is what Sonic Frontiers couldn't be, but done right when it comes down to controls and environments and just like flow chart in general. Yes, there might be some drawbacks, although unlike other people, I didn't find myself very fond of the overworld aspect of it. Yes, it's fun to navigate and all that, but I feel like it could have been a little bit more specific when it comes down to, pointing where you were going, but not really pointing where you were going, but being very clear of the path that you can take. I know that they try to take these like open world aspects so you can experiment and see what creative way you can do to reach a certain part of the level. However, there must be a little bit of more accessibility, especially with a character that controls really fast. That aside, though, the levels are some of the best levels that any 3D Sonic game has ever had. And this is coming from someone that loves Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, and that being my favorite Sonic game of all time. I feel like this gives me almost that same feeling, almost that same hype, to the point that we find ourselves playing the levels over and over and over and over again because they are that good. Like every Sonic game, the music also is a blast to hear, and just how they really create this pocket game with its Sonic, which again calls homage to what 3D World, Super Mario 3D World made. And then we got Bowser's Fury, and how really evolved from that sort of like 2.5D aspect to like an open world-ish 3D, and all the things they had to offer. And it seems like it was just a glimpse. Just like Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury was a glimpse of what could be the future of Mario, I feel like Sonic Cross Shadow Generations, especially Shadow Generations, it's what we're gonna expect for the blue blur. But not only the blue blur, now the black blur is actual in the mix, because this is why Shadow really sets up and really capitalize on the year of Shadow, along with the Sonic movie, which is also amazing. So thank you, Sonic, and thank you, Shadow, for making this year memorable and for taking the 4th spot of Game of the Year. And now moving on to numero tres, aka number 3, our 3rd runner-up for Game of the Year, and another remake slash remaster. I believe we can call it both. Actually, this is more of a remaster because the game is pretty much 1-to-1. It's a Nintendo game. It came out early in the year, actually in the month of my birthday, and it's a game that I played for the first time, and that I can finally say that I get it, I got it, and I understand. Yes, people, number 3 on our Game of the Year run, it is none other than Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door. And boy, it lived up to the hype. This game, oh my goodness, I don't remember a Paper Mario game or just a Mario RPG in general that I enjoy the most with the story and the dialogue than this. I feel like this is one of those games that the scripts were perfect, and even some of the things that made it, and they even adjusted for today's standards because of course, times change and all that. But how you can really see and how you can really feel on what we've been sort of missing out since they started to take like a different direction with this franchise. And just the world in general. I mean, just Rogueport, like how you are introduced to Rogueport to this kind of like sketchy town, and things that you remember from the game from the get-go, while Peach finds out the letter and gets the kidnapping, blah 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 blah. Then you see in the background how like characters like still like moving along with their lives. And then there's one of the things that I really remember the most is like seeing this character that gets jumped on by 2 of the mafia piantas, and then the guy says, Don Pianta says his regards. I mean, putting the Italian accent there, but it's just so full of life. And not only that, I mean, you got an amazing like battle system, classic RPG battle system, which really returns to roots and makes Paper Mario so special. And again, this is one of those test games that Nintendo put out. Okay, you know what? People have been clamoring it. Let's just put it out there, see if it even makes a splash. And sure it did, my friends. This is how Paper Mario should be going forward. Evolve from this concept, but without, losing the essence of what Paper Mario and its characters, especially their characters. This has to be one of the best characters and main party members of any entire game, because every single one of them is memorable. There's this one and that one. Oh, and especially that one. No, just kidding. Goombella, I mean, your first companion, she being this archaeologist, and how she joins your adventure, and it turns out to be one of the most useful characters if you use her right. Then, of course, you have Koops, Madame Flurry, you have Vivian, and you have also Admiral Bobbery and his sad story that ends up being just forgotten, especially in the part that he pretends to die and he said, oh no, he's just sleeping. But literally all the puns and all the what really stands out about this game is the dialogue, and how it really stand out to a point that, again, this is the game that made me stop playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's because I wanted to play Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door. How captivating these characters were, and how, every so often you can get a chuckle out of it. The whole Lucha Libre section with the gold cross, I forgot his name right now, but all that chapter was awesome. And how he get his nickname with being the Great Gonzalez, which I love, and then on there in the middle of that, then you get Yoshi, or what I call it, Broshi, as your companion, and that was really, really freaking cool. And it's very clever, and the Switch only made it just better. Yes, I know it runs at 60 frames per second on the GameCube, and yes, I agree, there's no reason why it shouldn't continue being this way. However, what they did with the remaster, the game looks beautiful, and it's definitely the definitive version on how to play this game. So thank you, Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door remake, for make my year a little better with being my number 3 game of the year. And now we are getting close, and now we're gonna listen to what is Daniel's runner-up of 2024's game of the year. And once again, this is a game that the whole sole reason because it's number 2, not only because it's an awesome concept, it is the perfect combination of nostalgia, return to form, but adding something new. And not only that, because this is a game that I was able to play along with my husband and made beautiful memories out of it, and this is the enjoyment that I have with the newest iteration of this beloved and high anticipated gaming franchise. From the house of Nintendo, our top 2, our runner-up of game of the year is The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. This is what a true successor of 2D Zelda games should look like. Not only because how it was revealed, and how for the first time in Zelda history, at least canonically, Zelda is our protagonist. She stopped being the damsel in distress and takes the Staff of Creation, aka the Tri-Rod, and goes on a quest to not only save her kingdom, but also to save the hero who has been saving her in so many generations, Link, from the hands of Noel. Oh, spoiler alert, but you'll get there eventually and see what I mean. But anyway, wow, I mean, just imagine Breath of the Wild, but with 2D. Actually, Tears of the Kingdom with 2D. And how they are able, and how, again, Eiji Onuma, what a master of his craft he is. And how do you know so well a franchise that you work for so many years and still come up with surprises like this? And basically, the hearsay is that Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is basically the pocket version of Tears of the Kingdom. And at some level, that is true. However, the fact that you're able to experiment with so many echoes here in Tears of the Kingdom and how to navigate the world and the dungeons and the bosses in general made this game really special. And just like we did with Mario Odyssey and even like Tears of the Kingdom at the beginning, me and my husband would like play this game, me on the TV, he on handheld, or both are handheld, and we were actually like going through the game together. And it wasn't until like certain point that we split because we had to work and stuff. But the first couple hours for the game, how it was just fun to just go over a certain section and just asking how you did this, and then I did it this way, and it's like, oh my god, I didn't think of that. And it's that level of freedom and creativity that really, really sparks joy when it comes down to gaming. And I feel like this game encapsulates really, really good that aspect of it. So I really recommend it's a very nice couples game. So pick up a copy with your loved one, play this game together, and compare. It's really fun to see what people can come up with, and all the crazy stuff that you see online with like the glitches and the skips and all that, which can get really intense sometimes. But overall, as a Zelda game, the story base is very, very solid. I mean, like I said, this is our first game starting off Zelda, so the way how they really improve on her character was really, really creative. And just the world in general, how so full of life and very expensive. I mean, this is our biggest 2D Zelda game, and the fact that we got this was just a surprise, just out of the blue. I thought we were just gonna be done with Tears of the Kingdom, but at the same time, they're always trying to release a new Zelda game every year. And we never got those remakes that the people were saying about Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Maybe they'll release that next year in anticipation for the new title with the new console on hand. But right now, Zelda Echoes of Wisdoms, from start to finish, an amazing game. And yeah, it might have been drawback with a few performance issues, things that could have done better when it comes down to like the inventory row and all that, which I do agree that it gets a little obnoxious, especially when you get all the echoes towards the end. But by any means doesn't take any joy of how this game is, and what is one of my best gaming memories that I will keep with me for a very long time. And it's just kind of the game that you will come back and pick it up a year later, and while you might remember how to beat some dungeons, you might approach it in a much different way. Maybe you challenge yourself in using certain echoes for the entire game. You don't have to collect them all. Or maybe you will try to beat everything with the Crotula, which is one of the best ones in my opinion. I mean, freak the Lionel, just the Crotula all the way. That thing is as useful as deadly as it can be. But anyway, if you haven't picked up this game, please do so. And if you have a partner and if you want to play along with this game, seriously, highly recommend it. Zelda Echoes of Wisdom was just a breath of fresh air and a return to a old friend. It's like seeing an old friend for a very long time. Like, life things might change, but the essence is still there. And Echoes of Wisdom really deserves almost the #1 spot. However, one game and one game only stole my heart, stole my thoughts, and stole some of the best gaming memories I will have forever. And as crazy to say that it's not coming from Nintendo, it's just unbelievable in the first place. But at the same time, knowing that this game was made with Nintendo in mind brings it all the way back for circle. Yes, people, it is just as you saw recently. And this game will get its own episode next year, I promise you, on his first anniversary. But ladies and gentlemen, please give a stand-up ovation to Game & Chat's 2024 Game of the Year, Astrobot. I mean, where can I start? Like, Astro's Playroom was always was on my radar. I remember when I played Astro's Playroom for the first time, how cool and creative it was, especially because being a tech demo of the console not only show you how the haptic feedback works on the PlayStation 5 controller and how mind-blowing it was, but also to have that sort of quote-unquote full game just for free, just to showcase the console and like the potential. This is a full-blown platformer. This feels like a Mario game for a different company, basically. And, playing through that and eventually beating it, I was like, and that's it? Like, they really are sleeping on this character. And, they keep releasing this game after game with realistic graphics, and you're The Last of Us, and your Uncharted, and your Tomb Raiders. But PlayStation never had anything like this before. Yeah, Crash 4 was sort of close by, but like a full-blown 3D exploration platformer, Astro's Playroom is all we have, at least on the PlayStation 5. I know we had the VR with Astrobot VR Rescue Mission, which another one was a huge success, but not everyone had VR. And let's face it, the VR population is not just there yet. The technology is not up to par to consider it as like a truly competitor. And then Team Asobi took matters into their own hands, listened to the feedback, and they were brave enough to push through so many adversities. Thinking of like Team Asobi in Japan shut down, or it was like sold, or I don't know exactly what happened, but they didn't have all the resources that they used to. Yet they put up this game, and it was revealed, I think, on July or June during the E3 period. There's no E3 anymore, but you guys know what I mean. And then released a few months later. And from the moment you get into that first level and the music starts, you can feel the innovation. You can feel the joy. You can feel the happiness that this small group of people came together to put this game. And level after level after level, how it was just a celebration of the PlayStation history, which, mind you, I'm familiar with PlayStation's history, but I'm not that deep, like cut deep with some of these like bots that you find for like certain games. Yet again, I feel happy to find every single one of them. And then you advance through the levels, and then you have your collectibles, and then the boss fights. The boss fights are so good in this game too. They're so good looking, impressive, but also they're not impossible. They're not like, oh my god, this is like unbearable. And then after you're clearing levels and you start like discovering that there are like secret levels, secret exits, you can see why the creator, mind you, I don't remember his name, sorry about that. However, when Astrobot received the Game of the Year at the Game Awards, how he was, first of all, how brave enough was he to acknowledge the effort of Team Asobi and PlayStation for supporting them and like release this game and basically bring the PlayStation mascot, quote unquote, to life. But to also have the bravery of dedicating the award indirectly to Nintendo and just basically saying that the only reason I made this game is because I was blown away when I turned on my Nintendo and I played Super Mario Brothers for the first time. And how he went off to really recognize this achievement, because Astrobot wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Mario. And what Mario made to the industry is just amazing. So I really, really commend their bravery, because on a world that people seem to lean to top performance, graphics, 4K, whatever, sometimes all we need is something to just unwind and have fun. And this is what Astrobot made happen. And up until this day, I beat it recently. I haven't collected all the bots, I haven't collected all the puzzle pieces and all that, but you goddamn sure I will platinum that game, and that's gonna be my very first platinum PlayStation game that I will achieve. because, until the eventually release of the new 3D Mario game, I think Astrobot really encapsulates everything. And I agree with the consent. It's the Mario Galaxy 3 that we never got, sort of. It really encapsulates all the best aspects of what a 3D platformer conveys. Great level design, great character design, amazing soundtrack. I mean, the fungi level with all the mushrooms like dancing. I keep looping that song in my head over and over again. Literally, and I'm not saying this out of recency bias, but this is one of the best games I ever played in my life. And I will definitely look forward to replay this over and over again. I feel nothing's gonna really top what Astrobot did when it comes down to PlayStation. Yeah, we might get better games, and I know Mario is gonna really stand out on his next appearance. But literally, Astrobot, it's, I would say, even like top 5 of my favorite games of all time. And that's a lot to say for somebody who has played so many games in 30 years of my life. So once again, this has been a joyride, and you haven't picked up this game, please do yourself a favor. Not everything is perfect. Yeah, I will agree though that sometimes if you don't really handle the platforming really well, the fact that he only dies on one hit could be an issue. It would be nice if we had like, I don't know, something like in Crash, for example, you have the Aku that can give you like a one hit point. Other than that, this game is perfection, and it's gonna be one of the most memorable experience, and definitely for sure, like no contest by a mile. Astrobot, congratulations, you have Game & Chat's 2024 Game of the Year. And with that, there you have it. Those are my top 5 games of the year of 2024. This year is gone, people. It is crazy to think that how fast it went by, especially like October and November were like snap. Like one moment was like October 1st, and then the next day we were celebrating Thanksgiving already. It was just crazy fast, especially with so many good games that came out. And of course, like I said, these are all my top 5 games of the year. I'm sure you guys will share this opinion. I'm sure you guys will like put something on top of each other. Like I said, maybe Final Fantasy VII will climb from number 5 to number 1. Who knows? I need to finish the game to find out. But right now, nothing comes close to Astrobot. Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, very close, because it's a game that touched on nostalgia and has a very special place. But Astrobot really knocked it out of the park, and it was the perfect game. A game that was much needed for a struggling company, which was PlayStation, especially with all the whole failure with Concord and all that. I feel like this was the breath of fresh air. This and Helldivers. I'm not a Helldivers fan at all. I don't play shooter games, but I know Helldivers really made a huge impact of that, and I really hope that they bring them successful in the right way. But yeah, guys, this is the end of season 1 of Game & Chat. I can't believe I actually started this project back in March, and here we are 16 episodes later, counting episode 0. And it's been a ride. It's been a really good ride. And again, I just feel happy. I just feel happy that I'm able to just do this in general. It's kind of like opportunity for me to vent, not only vent, I mean, not saying vent in a bad way, but more so like just put my opinion out there, and for you guys to listen, especially for those who make it to the very end and share some of the same feelings with me, really makes me appreciate it. And since we are on the end of the season, it might be worth to go over a few stats, shall we? So, just to share a little bit of what we've done so far. So we are totalizing up until the recording of this podcast an all-time total downloads of 160. 160 of you have downloaded episodes and listened to them to completion. And it means a lot to me. I know it must sound like a very small number, But the fact that I was able to do this and you got some people to listen to, it was just unbelievable. So thank you so much. It makes me really happy. It also makes me really happy that my top 2 episodes it actually just got updated today. Nintendo Switch 7 years later. Yes, the anticipation for the new console is in the air. So it was very nice to recap all the last 7 years of Nintendo Switch and how this console really changed the industry for good. And right tied up there, of course, our review of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which again is one of my best, if not my favorite game of all time, and like how really this made an impact. And seems like Zelda is a popular theme here, so we're gonna have a lot of Zelda stuff, because right behind this stuff, The Legend of Zelda from a 2D perspective, and then of course our Sonic episode following up on number 4, and finally Majora's Mask Finding Light Within the Darkness, one of my favorite Zelda games story-wise. So I really hope that you guys enjoy every single one of them. And this is just gonna get even better and better. And I really hope you guys join me for the ride of Season 2. Season 2 will come soon enough, very soon. Don't worry, I'm not gonna keep you guys wait much longer. It's gonna get some first right, and then we will kick off on a good feed with Season 2 of Game and Chat, with new topics, new sections, new ways to bring you guys the best of the Game and Chat headspace and my personal gaming journey, which I started on March of 2024 in this podcast, and it only is gonna go even better and longer with all you guys' support. That being said, it's been a pleasure, guys, and I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss recording. I'm not gonna have the itch to it. I'm probably gonna get ahead of myself and start doing some recordings for Season 2, but at the end of the day, it's really nice to see you guys interacting and like listening to the podcast and watch my stats going up and up. So it's all thanks to you. And of course, I need to give special thanks to the person who gave me the final push to start this project, and that is my husband, Sebastian. I love you so much. Thank you so much for pushing me to finally do this. And I hope I made you proud, and I hope we do better and better, and we have more collaborations with more episodes. I know we will, but definitely thank you for everything. And I love you. I love you so much. Anyway, guys, that's gonna bring us to the end of the episode. Of course, you guys know where to find me: Instagram, X, Blue Sky, and the 1-2 Switcheroo experience on Twitch live and YouTube on VOD. So look forward for another new streaming sessions starting next year. But for everybody else, thank you so much again. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year. I hope you guys reach all your goals and only make yourselves better and better. This year might have been good, might have been challenging, but we're still here fighting for our dreams. So keep up, don't give up, keep pushing. You will get there. You are amazing. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. I really appreciate every single one of you. This is Daniel, aka 1-2 Switcheroo, signing off. Game on.